more, be more. Be more, be more, be more. Hey you guys, welcome to another great episode of BMO, where we're trying to be more like Christ and less like others. I had the pleasure of speaking to an amazing woman. Her name is Carole Hamilton. She is an amazing woman of God, and she is a member of the Mountain View Church of Christ in Dallas, Texas. Now, you know everything's bigger in Texas, so when I asked her to do this interview, I wanted her to talk about what I call BMO, active in your faith. And so when I talk to Carole, she is just an amazing woman who is not afraid to tell it like it is, but she has such a nurturing mother personality about herself that when she walks in a room, it's not that she demands the attention, it just glows within her. And so I got to talk to her about how she got started and more about being more active in her faith and how she's using her gift in order to spread it and encourage other women to be more like Christ.
So listen, Texas Women's Empowerment Conference. We are about less than a month away. Like we are, it's happening. It's a real thing. And from my research, you've been doing this for 15 to 16 years, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. But this is year 15.
So, but obviously you always, for people that do not know you, you are the wife of a minister, but you also have your own personality and the gifts that God has given you. The segment of BMO is called BMO Active. I've noticed a lot within church community segments that everyone may not know what their gift is. And then since they don't know, they make it the excuse of, well, I'm just gonna let everybody else do what they want to do and it'll work out eventually. I know you are a big advocate for not doing that and for people to use what they have. So how in the world did you know that this conference was a way to showcase at least one of your many gifts?
I don't think I knew initially. I think it was something that was placed on my heart by God, and I just followed what He placed on my heart. So I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't even know where to begin. But as time progressed along, it all came to me. And so I really didn't know, honey. I went into it really clueless, just knowing what the outcome I wanted to have, which was nothing about, a big conference or anything like that. It was more so about empowering women and women healing from things that they've gone through and all that kind of stuff. So it was more so the outcome of the inner man that I was looking for, not necessarily the outcome of a conference.
So how did the conference come about? Since you're saying the whole goal is for healing and reconciliation and finding yourself within Christ. So can that be done through a book or a study guide or just a one-time video that people can play over and over again? Why specifically an interactive conference?
Well, I thought it was something that we were missing in this area that I'm in. There are many conferences being held in this area, and I'm talking about mega conferences. And so I went the way of a conference because there was nothing particularly in our fellowship that we were doing as a complete whole and a collaborative effort that we were doing to promote this kind of thing amongst the women. So that's why I chose the conference. A book never crossed my mind. None of that ever crossed my mind. It was just a conference. And I think even back then, podcasts and all kinds of stuff like that were not really, I don't even know if they were, I don't even know if they were around then. Social media wasn't around in 2009. I don't think social media was
taking it back.
Yeah.
It was just getting in because I was in high school and my parents let me have it.
Right.
But at the time,
Right.
you could only do things like from your desktop, so it wasn't as compact. So yeah, or accessible.
Right. And not right. It wasn't as accessible. So that stuff never would have crossed my mind. So the only way I thought about it was having a venue where I could bring people together.
Okay. So, like I said, you're going into your 16th year. Obviously, I've been, so I can attest to it, but obviously it didn't just start out this way of being such a grand event, even though you had over 700 women at your first year, which is a huge flex. Let's not act like that's not a flex. So why do you think women gravitated to something that they never experienced, or they experienced to an extent, but not to the level that you were bringing? So why do you think women resonated to just hop on board? Because I have heard your story, and not everybody was okay with it because it's against the norm. So why do you think people really caught on to it or connected to it?
Initially, because it was something that they've never done, and I think some of it was out of curiosity. And to see what it was going to be. It hadn't been done in this area before as a collaborative effort. Now, there were individual churches that were having things that we've always done in this, in the Dallas area. But as a collaborative thing, that kind of stuff wasn't being done in this area. So I think that's a lot of it was just to see what was happening. And then some of it was to see what they could get out of it. What kind of difference would it make? All of those things like that. So that's what I think why they initially flocked to it. Now people come because I believe they're being fed, and it's an experience that I tell people you have to come see yourself. I can't explain what happens when we get there.
It's like you can't explain it, but you have to experience it. It's easy to say, or a couple of videos on Facebook, like, oh, that looks cute, that looks fun. Oh, women are crying. Oh, okay, so it's going to bring something out of you, but it's nothing as a testament to it. You can't explain it. It's like you just have to come, which is interesting still. So do you truly believe, because you're a very, very humble woman, I can personally say that. However, do you really feel like some of the appeal was because of who you are? Circling back to the gifts that people have, do you feel like a lot of it because of the person that you are? That, okay, Carole's putting this on. I think it's in good hands. I trust the path. Like you said, it was something new. So do you feel like it was a testament to who you are and who God has created you to be with your gift that attracted people as well, and could possibly have turned some people away at the same time?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do. I hadn't ever done anything of this magnitude, so all people knew was who I was, what family I came from, things like that. So I didn't necessarily have I did have a presence, but it wasn't a grandiose presence, right? So I think, again, a lot of it was orchestrated by God, and so I can't even necessarily take credit, but I do think that God was possibly preparing me a long time ago for many things, this being one of them.
So speaking of preparedness, obviously you do not do this by yourself. It takes a lot of women.
Oh, absolutely not. Right.
So once women signed up for it and women were, okay, this is something new, we're going to jump into this, hope springs eternal. So how does that whole process go of choosing committees? Because as people don't know, the format changes every year. It is mostly, there's still a base format of a devotional style or a meeting style with everyone together, but even that can fluctuate between years. So how did you know what type of facilitators you want to have, the different groups? You're very, very popular in making sure, the word we absolutely love, you do not micromanage and you let people use their gifts in their own capacity. So how in the world, tell me a little bit about that. How did that work? How did the meetings go? How do they still go? How is everything able to still function like a well-oiled machine, even when some of the tires are a little squeaky?
Yeah, well, I think one of the main things is I don't, well, first of all, I work with some amazing women. And from the beginning, they have allowed me, even though most of them were primarily older than me, because I was, 33? or so when I started TWEC.
Wow.
So most of them were.
But you just turned 34. What's going on? Wait.
I did. Just turned 34. I did. But most of them were primarily older than me. But I think it was the spirits of those women that allowed me to lead them. And I don't think it would have ever been able to happen with women who felt like age was a factor. And so they trusted me. They have many of them have guided me in the process as far as being very suggestive on what I should do, how I should handle different things, and basically using their wisdom to try to help me navigate through this journey. So it's been great. Many of them that I started with are still in the same position they were in from the beginning.
Amen.
Many of them.
So how does that work? How does that work? Because I'm gonna be real with you. Working with Black women and women ain't been a lot. And you have a lot of opinions. Like you said, you're doing something new. Older women are used to the ladies' day. We doing this, matching outfits, food, meatballs. That's it. So how in the world can you just attest to the older, more, as my mother calls them, mature women? Attest to, talk about that of how in the world is it truly the one answer? Is it God that collected together, or was it just transparency that, hey, we're going to disagree on some things, but this is a respectable place and we can still get the ball rolling? Just give me a little bit of the tea. Like how are you able to, what is the code? Because apparently it's been working for 15, 16 years.
Right. Well, actually, absolutely it's God, of course. But I think it's all about how you lead people, and who is willing to follow. Right, everybody is not able to follow. It's not that we haven't lost some people along the way. We have, but primarily those who have started have stayed. And it is because I don't micromanage. I don't have a dictator. It's not a dictatorship, right? It's not do what Carole say do and keep it moving. No. Allow them to use their own creative juices, do what they want to do. One of the beautiful sisters that work along with me is Sister Linda Alexander, who is over the gala every year. And she knows exactly what she's doing, okay? I don't have to go in there and tell her I need this and I need that and I want it to look like this and I want it to look like that. I don't have to do that because she's already functioning in her gift. And that is not my gift, okay? That is my gift to do decor and figure out what it's going to look like and all of that. That's not my gift. So every year when I walk into that gala, I don't know what it's going to look like. I find out with everybody else what's going to be in there because I trust her to function in her gift. And when you have people in place that know what they're doing, you don't have to micromanage them. You don't have to come behind them and say, this. All I need to know is that they're going to follow the vision that God gave me. And if they can follow the vision, which they have, then I can just move on. I can do what God asked me to do. What God asked me to do is this portion of it. That is the portion of feeding the people, right? And making sure they get fed. That's what God wants me to do. The other part is for other people to do their part that helps to make it all come together. So you have, registration, you have finances, you have all that kind of stuff. There are people that work in those areas that know exactly what they're doing. So I don't have to go behind them and try to function in a zone of incompetence, trying to do something that I don't know how to do, right? I function in the zone that I need to be in.
So what do you do? Maybe not asking like that. So because everybody's doing their thing, what are you doing in the whole process? Since you're not looking behind or looking over people's shoulders for stuff.
I am making sure things go as planned and that everything stays in sync. So once this is how it goes. Once God gives me the vision, whenever God gives me the vision, I give it to them. And God puts all the pieces together, meaning what it's going to be about. What is the focus of it? What is the purpose of this conference? What is the message I want to convey this year? Once God gives me all of that, I give it to them. We put it all together and everything else goes into place. Now, are we meeting and making sure everybody's in sync? Absolutely. We got to do that to make sure everybody knows what's going on and knows what the right hand is doing. The left hand knows what the right hand is doing. So we're meeting and we're collaborative on that. But God gives me the portion of it that ministers to women. That's my gift, to minister, right? And so that's what I need to happen. The rest of it is the accessories of the conference. The main thing
more
of
of
the
an extension.
Not an extension. It's the thing that makes it a complete package, right? Okay. It makes it a complete package. The main package is the ministry of it, the word, right? Being taught and disseminated out to the ladies and the young girls that attend. But the rest of it is to put on a conference. It's not a conference if it's we just meet,
we just meet and chill,
right.
And we just
right. I can do that. I can do that on Saturday morning, right?
Yeah.
But in order for it to be holistic, because it's not just the word, right? Not just feeding people spiritually, but also it's holistic, right? So we function on the health of the body, right? So there's workout classes. It's been a plethora of different things that we've done at the conference that attend to the whole woman, not just to attend to her mind, body, and soul, not just necessarily to her spiritual man.
So, a few more questions. I don't want to ask this in the most cliche term, but I really want it to be very, very cathartic. What does the future of TWEC look like? Obviously, you say God gives you the vision and it grows. We've even had to change locations for the next one. And so what does TWEC look like 5, 10, 15 years from now? Is it more international? Is it stay in Texas? Is it stay the Texas Women's Empowerment Conference? Like, have you even imagined? I'm not gonna say plan, but have you even imagined what it could be? Or is it kind of like, you know what, we're gonna be like Insecure, we're gonna stop it at 5 seasons, we're gonna stop it at year 30, we good? Like, how have you even thought even into that?
I have, but I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. I have to again. Right. I have to wait on God to tell me what that's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to look like. Because even though it started out with 750 women, I'm not at 750 women now, right? I'm at, 350, 400, 450, right? I'm at that number right now. So I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if God is going to let it explode into something greater, something bigger. I don't know. Would I love it to be bigger? Yeah. But maybe God has not allowed it to get to that point because I'm not ready. Who knows? I don't know. And so, and I don't know if I would be ready. He could have done it this year. I might have been ready, but I believe that God will do things in His time, and however it looks. I just want to make sure that I am fulfilling the assignment that He has for me to do. Whether that's with, go ahead.
No, go right for you. Ring your sentence. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, whether that's in a mega dome or convention center somewhere or in a hotel ballroom. I don't know. So I just have to wait on God. Yeah, I just have to wait on God and trust that whatever God does, I'm ready for it whenever He does it. So I can be ready from year to year. And I know people do well with planning and people do well with trying to do it, but I do also understand that I'm not working with the same, not necessarily with the same thought process as other people. And so whereas some things happen because people have the money to make it happen and people have that, I got God.
I feel like that's all you need. Wait a minute.
That's all you need.
Why you making sense? Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all you got.
No, I'm just saying some things can happen. Some things can happen quicker when you have the finances to do them. But God can make things happen just like that. With me, whatever He's doing is happening organically.
And I think it works better that way.
Yeah,
I'm an overplanner. I personally am an overplanner. My personal friends know that I'm not going anywhere. If I plan a trip, I gotta have the money for. I gotta have this and this. And another person that you know very personally is just like, no, we're just gonna do it. and we'll hope it works out. It's just like, that's not how it works. So I get it. It works for some people. I'm learning that myself. And so I honestly believe as long as God is within the plan and within the purpose, you can have all the money or not a cent to it and he'll still make it work.
Right, because success is not determined by the number of people or the venue, right? It's not necessarily determined by that. It's what people walk away with. I know people that attend conferences and attend all of these things, and there are thousands and thousands of people there, and people walk out of there and they may not know what happened. They just know we took pictures and that's beautiful. And we dressed it like, okay, that's it. Right.
It's a flame.
We dressed it like that's good. But 6 months down the line, will they be able to come back and say, this is what I learned? You want the residual. You don't want the immediate, right? You want the residual effect of it. You want people to be able to come back to you months later and say, this still is resonating with me, right? Oh, that's great. Y'all did it there. But that's not, the measure of success is never determined by, or should be determined by, who comes or the number of people that attended.
Perfect segue for people that, I'm gonna get a little spicy about it. The ones that have been wanting it to fail. Have you experienced them turn around and be like, you know what, I was wrong and it works? Or how are you still able to keep going? Because we're not going to say you're superhuman. How are you able to keep going when people that either, prime example, the first year you said people didn't know what this was. So the people that were blessed, the residuals, and then the people that came back that just, I don't know what they're doing. They was doing this, and then somebody broke into a nay-nay, and I don't know what happened, and then taking things out of context. How have you been able, and for motivation for people to that can kind of are in the people-pleasing stage, kind of, sort of. How are you able to keep going when you have haters or people that don't really fully see the vision, or the ones that came and still all the backlash, all the haters, all the skepticism, all of it? How are you able to still keep going? Because I know you're human, but you are a Christian as well. How are you able to keep going, and how does that help other people to still keep going after their gift, even when others around them don't see it?
Well, I believe number one is prayer, right? Number two is I believe that God is not going to keep giving me a vision that He doesn't want me to do. I don't believe He would give it to me, right? And so those are my context clues to keep going. I don't, strangely enough, I don't know who the haters are. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there are. I mean, I'm not naive to that. I'm sure there are haters, but I don't know who they are. I don't know why people boycotted. They don't come. I don't know. There are people right here in the local city that won't attend it, haven't attended it, and make no plans to attend it. I don't know why. I don't know why people come and never come back. I don't know why. I don't know. All I know is I'm on assignment, right? My assignment is not to get you to come back. My assignment is not to coax people into coming. That's not my assignment. My assignment is to do what God puts on my heart to do, and the direction He intends me to go in for that year, and for me to do it, right? When I start trying to chase down how people want me to do it, and who should be there and all of that, then what it does is it slows me down, right? It slows me down, it stagnates me, and it delays the process. I don't have time for the process to be delayed, trying to think of tricks and gimmicks to get people there. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that, because I do believe, I also believe that who's there is who's supposed to be there, right?
Yeah.
I know we're in an age of social media and people advertising and marketing and doing all that kind of stuff. And you can do all of the stuff you want to do with that, and do all kind of tricks you want to do with that. Still, whether it's 20,000 people, 2,000 people, 200 people, the people that are supposed to be there, the people that are there are the ones that are supposed to be there. at that time, at that moment. So I can only function like that. Sometimes we try to force things to be that are not supposed to be, and I cannot force anybody or make anybody do anything. I am very appreciative to those who have supported it through the years and those who come, whether they've been one time or whether they've been 15 times. I'm very, very appreciative to that, and so glad that they invest in, first of all, in themselves, but take the time to be a part of the conference. And I would love to have more women, but again, that is the business of God, and whatever God decides He's going to do with it, and whatever direction He leads me in to try to make the conference what it needs to be, is what He's going to do. I'm just very spirit led about a lot of things, and so I don't necessarily move haphazardly. I feel weird when I move haphazardly, or when I can't see exactly what God is doing. Right? If God doesn't necessarily show me, it's not settled in my spirit, I won't do it. That's what the theme is, who's supposed to be speaking, all of that. I don't move on it until God tells me to move on it.
So speaking of moving, as we kind of wrap up, as you're moving, who is moving with you? Who are the people that keep you sane? And because I know it is a lot, we're not going like it's not, because it's a lot to bring people together, make sure people get there safely. Things happen, life happens. Who is that? Who is that team that you can call them no matter what time you can have a breakdown? They're not asking, child, what in the world's going on with you? They are there. Who has been there for you for 15, 16 years or even beforehand? Who is that, and what does that say about them to help other people as they're trying to work in their gift to have? Because I've always heard who you have around you determines a lot, and it can either motivate you or it can mush you in the lack of better terms. So who is that? Who is that team? Who is there who has been keeping Carole?
Well, definitely my family, my husband, my mom and sister, my family have been there from the beginning. And then, of course, the women that work along with me. My church family has been there. The leaders of the church have been there. They've been very supportive. And then, of course, again, the women that work on from different churches that have been working along with me. Even some of the ones that have come, some of the ones that have gone. All of those people have contributed in some kind of way to keep me going in it, to keep me encouraged in it. So I'm really thankful. I have a wonderful support system. I have a wonderful support system. People I can call on. Not that I always call on them, because I'm sometimes can be a little closed in that area, but when I do call on them, they don't hesitate to come, and then they don't hesitate to pull me to the side and say, I see something on you, let me encourage you right here, keep going, and all of those kind of things. And then it's too many to name, but they all play a role in a different part, and for that I'm grateful. It's no necessarily one person that does it all for me. The one person that does it all for me is God, but outside of God, there's no one person that does everything for me. So it's a collaborative circle right there that God has created for me to make it keep going.
Okay, so be more active. Any last words for people that are, like I said, previous to our conversation of, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna let them do it. What is that motivation? Your infamous gift card statement, but what else is your motivation to get people to be more active in their faith? Because if they're not, faith without works is dead. So
to be more active in their faith, shoot, because there's an end goal. You know what I'm saying? There's an end goal. Being more active in your faith, that's something that is a personal thing, and I can encourage people to do that all day long, but people have to get it within their minds to know that there's an end goal, and the ultimate end goal is not a conference. The ultimate end goal It's not any of that. The ultimate end goal is for you to make it in. You want to make it in, right? You want to make it in, and you're not going to get in being something other than what God called you to be. Okay? So I encourage you to be your authentic self. Be real. Be real about who you are. Be real about life. Be real about what you can do. And don't try to covet other people's gifts and be something that you're not. You're just not going to make it. You're not going to make it. So it's the end goal, and just yeah, and working every day, and still working every day. I haven't made it, but I'm on that path. I'm on that path. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Your tenacity to be active in what you do and who you are just inspires so many women as myself. And after this interview, I hope it continues to do the same and reciprocate. For more information, the website will be at the bottom of the screen. You can still sign up, y'all. I mean, it's a little more expensive because it's almost time. However, it is worth. The amount is worth the time. So my mother and I have been for 2 years. Actually, it's been going on for a long time, but we finally were able to go, and we can't see ourselves not doing it in August every year until words are happening. But we love it. It's awesome. Thank you so much for being active and not listening to the enemy of saying what you could and couldn't do. So we appreciate you for being active in your faith and in your gift.
Thank you, Janet. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support, you and your mom, and I look forward to seeing y'all in August. Be there or be square. Maybe be square. I don't know. Be there or be something. I don't know. Just come.
Yes. All right.
Oh, wasn't that I'm lost for words right now. That was an amazing interview. I told y'all, I wasn't shocked. You need to pick your jaw from the ground, because I was not shocked. She always brings it. She's always the type of woman that is going to tell it like it is, but she has, like I said, the nurturing spirit to let you know that you can do it too. You may not do it like, oh, okay, but you're going to have your own lane and using your own gifts and being more active in your faith. I hope that's helped you to be more like Christ and less like others. See you next time. I'm going to go be more active because the way I'm